Okay, Jeremy here. I'm going to talk a little loud because we got the washer going in the background. Getting our frames ready for our next Midwest and actually all the way down to Florida delivery, but that is coming up quickly. So if you see this, let's see, today is I think the 21st, December 21st. We can ship these out, normal freight. There's just a little bit extra costs that are involved. No big deal. We do it all the time. It's just kind of nice when we have our own freight going out because you just get it to your door. You don't have to do commercial addresses, and it's nice having a personal touch. So anyway, 2003 to 2006 Wrangler TJ specifically, 4-cylinder frame. However, as I've said in most of my videos, the difference between a 03 to 06 and a 97 to 02 is 3 things, and we sell a kit that makes it so you don't have to do any cutting or welding. It bolts right on, bolt-on kit, okay? That gives you the 3 pieces that you need to make that work, and it looks, you won't even be able to tell the difference. Matter of fact, these newer frames are somewhat more heavy duty. There's a 9702 back here, and they're almost identical. They just use a little bit thicker metal in these years, and they tend to wear a little bit better, although I've seen it, I mean, they'll rust just as bad, but they weigh a little bit more on the scales. They're like 60 pounds heavier, so clearly there's a little thicker metal or something they did on them. So anyway, I like to do these videos so you can see it as if you were here in person. There's no surprises on your end. Every single frame is videoed and photoed on its own. So one part in this yard, besides doors and hardtops, that we do not list in bulk, meaning that you won't see this frame representing 10 other frames. You'll see this frame, and if you buy this frame, you'll receive this frame. That's a crucial part of it. So that's one thing I like to point out. The second thing is we stay out of the Midwest to buy things in the East Coast. We buy everything from the Southwest and the West Coast only. And even then we run into some things that are a little bit, they're still clean, but they're a little bit more, not as pretty as, let's say, this one is. So, and then the last thing is we do not buy Wrangler TJs specifically, or YJs or CJs that have been hit. And if we do buy them, we do not part the frames. We usually cut them up. The only occasion that will ever be different would be a light rollover, and those we don't pick up all that often because they're not usually, it usually crushes the parts we want on them. So occasionally, like a Rubicon we just picked up a couple weeks ago, we did that on. But anyway, so bare metal is going to oxidize. You're going to see a brown color or anything like that. We just hit this with that pressure washer, which has got 4,000 psi and about 200 degrees. So I think two something. So it bakes paint off, okay? So there's a difference between that and obviously rust. If I see anything that looks rusty or potential problems, I'm gonna point it out. If it's oxidized, I'll point it out. If there's any welding, cutting, modified whatsoever, anything that you're gonna have to do to it, I'll point it out as well. So at least you can see there's always something. For example, on this guy, I can tell you right here, the shock mounts, which is a terrible design, that's one that was pulled out good, and that's one that broke off, and these both broke off here. So they're welded nuts. There is a kit that replaces these, and being that you're doing a frame swap, it's very cheap. I would get this and replace these. This is a terrible design, and these are gonna break even if you replace them now or extract them now. Good news is if you wanna keep them stock and not do anything, there's enough there to get on it with probably a good set of vice grips that'll heat, and you can extract those, or you can do it from the bottom side with an extractor. So that's it on this guy. This is a beautiful grade A. I'd say it's an A+. It's super clean. Everything black on it is factory paint that had on it from original, which is most of our frames. So if there's, let's see, I'm going to point out areas that like to rot out on these guys. They love to rot out above your gas tank skid, which you can't see until you pull them. They love to rot out your coil spring buckets from both sides. These are really nice and clean. I don't know if you can see it there or not. Same with that one, nice and clean. It's got a little bit of surface, but nothing rot on it. These love to rot here. We borescope them just to confirm what we're seeing on the outside, because you never know. This one's nice and clean on the inside. It looked just like the outside. And as of right now, I don't have a way to upload that video, but I can give you my guarantee on that. And we've been doing it for so long. That's kind of a new thing we do. So this is an area that loves to rot out because it pinches the bushings. These are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. That one's got bare metal showing. That will oxidize fairly quickly. Your motor mounts, they typically pretty strong, but you see it occasionally. Coil spring and shock towers, these love to rust. These are really clean on that guy. And then going up to the front, up through here. Now, you can use this on a 6-cylinder, and the 6-cylinder frames are even harder to get. This is a 4-cylinder frame. The difference is on a 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, is the distance between here and here. And they do that to compensate for the shortness of the block on a 4-cylinder. The 6-cylinders are moved up a little bit, but otherwise they're identical. And then again, the 9702, there's a gearbox, a belly pan, and an intermediate shaft. Otherwise, they're identical. The bracket for the intermediate shaft, we include that as well. That's slightly different too. But this frame is gorgeous. I'm gonna flip it over. They don't weigh that much. I can handle them with one hand pretty easily. A couple 100 pounds. Clear that guy. All right, so back to this side. Absolutely beautiful. Nothing in these guys. This is an area that likes to trap moisture where the control arms go. Up into that, again, a bushing area there. Super, super clean. These love to rust. A little oxidized here just because there's nothing that protects metal on metal there. But no material gone. Nice clean threads, nothing broken off. These do break occasionally, but we'll make note or try to extract them for you. These ones are all nice and clean. That's got a bin ear on it. I did that with a forklift, so we can pound that one back out. That one there's good. Coil spring buckets are good. Above your gas tank skid, perfect. And then on out. So we do measure and spec them just to make sure, because I had a YJ, for example, a couple days ago. It looked straight. It was a beautiful Jeep. We parted out, got it apart, started seeing a couple things on them that looked a little bizarre, and measured it. It was straight, but you could tell somebody had repaired it. That's not a big deal if they do it right, but if you don't know or don't want that, you know, it's kind of a bummer. So anyway, again, Jeremy, Jeeps Unlimited, partsbreakers.com. That's our website. You can view this frame and others like it there. Find out any information you want to know about us. Quite a bit of stuff out there. We've been around since 1984. And yeah, love to help you out in any way we can. Things that usually rust in addition to frames, if you haven't already noticed: gas tanks, skid plates, belly pans, tubs. We do sell a lot of tubs. TJ tubs I have, they're starting to sell right now. I used to stock on those things, and they're actually starting to move. I have a couple left that are some of my grade B+ A's. Still no rust, but potentially some body damage on some of them, some corners knocked in or something. Make a deal on one of those. Yeah, so I think that's it. So give us a holler. Again, we're leaving on Christmas Day Eve, but if you see this afterwards, no big deal. Just give us a shout. We ship freight. We build pallets for them. Matter of fact, there's a frame going out over there. That one's going to Canada, and we do ship to Canada, so if that's something interesting too. So appreciate you taking a look.